Ladies and gentlemen, now it is time for us to welcome the fifth speaker. Sakura Tanaka from Kyoto Prefectural University will deliver the speech under the title of Start with Yourself. Start with Yourself. Sakura Tanaka, please come up to the stage.
Thank you, the master of the ceremony, questioners, honorable judges, and all of the organizers of this show. Thank you. So, good afternoon, everyone. Did you enjoy your snacks? Let me just start my speech. So, have you ever thought of being forced to wear what you don't want to wear? For me, for you, and for most people in Japan, it is a very natural thing that we have limitless choices on what we wear every day. However, in some countries in the world, people are forced to wear the certain things, costumes or items which they don't like to wear. So please tell me, is it free when somebody tells you to wear what you don't want? As a child, I always dreamed of going abroad. I was very curious about the world outside of my house. I never been abroad, so last year I left my home and I went to Europe all alone. So I was adventurous and passionate about finding something stimulating. I was looking for something that would guide me in a better direction so that I could step out of my comfort zone. As a 19-year-old girl, I wanted to change myself. Throughout the year-long journey, I have met a lot of people from different backgrounds. At one point, I realized I had some kind of stereotypes on people's appearances. Of course, I knew, before going there, people would be different from what I was used to. But I found myself judging them on my own norms. So, and during the time I spent in Europe, I met a lot of people from different backgrounds, and I've met a lot of cultures. And one thing surprised me the most was the way they dress themselves, because it was quite different from one another, and depending on their culture, of course. And they seemed very confident in it. That experience made me aware that clothes could be very impactful things to show and express yourself. Your culture, your personality, and your identity, all of them could be reflected in your appearance, not necessarily a physical one, but your clothes. So, what do we wear clothes for? To show our identity, or to show our cultural or ethnic background, or do we just have to cover the body not to be arrested? Whatever the reason is, we like wearing clothes and we enjoy it, right? Last year, when I was still traveling in Europe, I was traveling for nearly a year, I read one very tragic news. An Iranian woman named Mahsa Amini, you might have heard of her name. She was arrested for not wearing a headscarf, which is so-called hijab. She was caught by police in Tehran train station in September 2022 because she went off unveiled. After 3 days in custody, she suddenly died. It's been a year and more. Nothing has been reported about what happened to her in custody. Her death generated a global movement called Women, Life, Freedom, calling for an end to Iran's imposition of a headscarf on women. Triggered by her death, a considerable number of people have joined the protest for women's dignity, equality, and freedom. Despite the protest, by the way, more than 20,000 of people have reportedly been arrested, and unfortunately, 7 of them were even executed. Can you imagine how horrifying this is for Iranian women? I really wish her death was a game changer. I really wish her massive courage had changed the situation. We are women. We are not supposed to be oppressed by any power, either politically or religiously. We can do whatever we want. For example, we can do makeup on. We are women. We like wearing makeup too. And we can do any hairstyle we want. And we can be anything we want to be, right? And this is a human being stuff. And so, yeah. And if you want to change the world, start with yourself, said Mahatma Gandhi, an Indian activist very long time ago. And what I mean by this quote is, this is the time you stop judging people on your own scale. And this is the time you welcome the new with your open arms instead of sticking to the old-fashioned stereotypes. Stereotypes, by the way, are made by society, and we are a part of society. So I was thinking, what if every one of us leaves the stereotypes? It could be the strongest weapon to change the world, couldn't it? So, if you leave your stereotypes behind and try to stop judging people on your own scale, the world can potentially change for all women. If you want to change the world, start with yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sakura Tanaka. Then we will have a question and answer session. Mr. Conver, please begin.
Thank you very much for your speech about changing society. So you talk about norms and you talk about judging people based on your norms. Do you think norms have any value in society? Are they important at all?
Yeah, basically, I think norms are what people have naturally and unwillingly and unintentionally, I guess. And it is natural to have some stereotypes or biases or norms on your own scale. You know, and this is not what I mean in my speech. But the thing is, you unintentionally, you don't even know you judge people on your own scale, the stereotypes. So, yeah, that's the point I wanted to pinpoint. So,
thank you for that clarification. What lessons do you think Japan could learn from the cultures that you encountered or you visited during your year in Europe that you think would help make Japan a better place?
That's quite a good question, because I've been more than 15 countries in Europe all alone, you know, and I've met a lot of cultures out there, and generally speaking, Japan's society is very equalified. And, you know, looking out on the outside of Japan, you know, society might be stratified quite intensely. And so, what's really the point? What was the question again? Sorry?
A particular lesson from one of the cultures that you encountered that you think would be valuable for Japan?
Oh, yeah, of course. So, you know, understanding the core concept of the culture and, of course, showing the respect for everyone, you know, yeah, for everyone, basically.
Okay, thank you. And then my last question is, you talk about change beginning with one person, that we have to change ourselves. That could be a very slow change for society to change. What do you think would be the greatest barrier, the greatest challenge to this one person at a time change?
I would say, for example, social media has become the biggest commodity in 21st century, and social media, I believe, should be the place where people express themselves freely with no constraints, So on that scale, people probably can express themselves, but one person, for example, leaves good comment, either good comment or bad comment on social media where people can see, and people easily neglect that person, attack the person, and that's one of the most dangerous thing about social media and about one person just trying to change the world, I guess.
Thank you, Mr. Koffer. Then Mr. Tokuhisa, please.
Okay, thank you, Sakura, for giving us that interesting speech. And my question would be, the first one would be that I sympathize what happened to the Iranian lady, and I can understand your feelings, but at the same time, that wearing the scarves should come from certain religious beliefs. And have you researched why in Islamic religion that kind of tradition or restriction would be imposed to women?
That's exactly what I was looking for here. And yeah, I knew some people would ask this question. But unfortunately, because I'm not religious, obviously, as most people in Japan, non-religious people, so I'm not an expert of the core reason of wearing a headscarf on women and why the government always sticks to this dress code rule. So yeah, to this question, I haven't searched yet.
Okay, thank you very much. And as you traveled in European countries just for about a year, and I understand you have met various kinds of people, including immigrants from Islamic countries. And especially in France, there are a lot of immigrants from Islamic countries. And do you know that once the French government restricted the women to wear headscarves in public at school?
Oh, did it actually?
Yes, and so this means that there are certain number of women who want to wear such scarves in public, especially not only in their home countries, but also in foreign countries or the countries that they immigrated. And how do you think about such phenomenon?
That's very debatable. That's up for discussion. But I understand. Yeah, obviously some people want to stick to their own culture, and preserve their culture. And that's a very beautiful thing, obviously. But on the flip side to it, some people don't want to as well, right? So both of the decision should be respected at any cost. So obviously the women who want to wear a scarf should be respected. And they should be wearing that too.
Yes, that's right. And so does it mean that those women who want to wear headscarves are against the changing of the world? Or do you think that it would be necessary for us to respect such religious or cultural background so that everybody can live peacefully in the world?
Yeah, they might be against, you're right. Yeah, you're truly right. They might be against the rule, the dress code rule, but at the same time, we have rights to respect them at any cost. Everyone respects it. So, either they want to or they don't want to. Any decisions should be respected. And that's it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tokuhisa. Again, thank you so much, Mr. Confer, Mr. Tokuhisa, and Sakura Tanaka.
Thank you very much.